Good morning, doctor. Welcome back.
Good morning, Venkatesh. Nice to be back.
Thank you. So, our topic for today is resilience. And we have touched on this topic in different ways. But today we are going to focus on what it is that makes us resilient. And what that is really our ability to handle setbacks or difficulties or obstructions and obstacles, which are just part of life, and keep being able to move forward positively. That's, at the core of our wellness. We've always been saying you need to be able to keep doing action forward, and resilience is a very important part of it, right? Not getting upset by the things that happen around us. Over to you, Doc.
Thank you. Thank you, Venkatesh.
Yes.
There you are. Well, the word resilience indicates that something was there before which was not conforming. And
Right.
so then it is resilient. If things are running smooth, there is no question of resilience because things happen automatically. It's like an airplane pilot
Correct.
putting it on autopilot and he's gone to sleep because he'll cross the Pacific Ocean will take several hours to cross. So
Correct.
as they say in Marathi, dulki, So
Correct.
to take one leave.
Correct.
And there is resilience. If things are happening fine and everything is hunky-dory, then it is not resilient.
Correct.
So by definition, resilience indicates an obstacle which is surmounted with action or inaction or whatever.
Correct.
And then the new equilibrium is obtained, that is resilience. So by definition, you have to be down before you can be called resilient.
Correct. Yeah, resilience has no meaning if there are no downs, if there are no obstacles. Correct.
That's right. That's right. So that is resilience. And let's take a closer look at this phenomenon.
Yes.
Next slide, please. So here it goes. Success is how high you bounce after you hit a rock bottom.
Correct.
Success is not just going up and up.
Correct.
You should be the rock bottom, and then you overcome that, as we just now saw. You have been down, but then you are up now, all with your own effort, mind you.
Correct.
Resilience indicates that you are doing it on your own, not that there are the people waiting there to lift you out of the pit. So it is, you have to be down and you have to come up on your own. That's very important. It indicates the resilience that we are talking about. You are down and you are up. There are many instances where you are up and then you are down and then hit again high.
Correct.
So it happens in sports visibly. For example, we give the example of tennis. Rod Laver was the good old veteran of tennis in Australia.
Correct.
He said, "Don't judge me by what you are right now. You judge me by how I bounce back from, say, rock bottom."
Correct.
So it was known those days, but nowadays there are many other dynamic players. But Rod Laver was the first one to say, "I am down 3 sets, whatever. Don't worry, I'll be up," and he would be up. So that is resilience. So let us take a closer look even around that. This was said by General Patton, the World War veteran. And he literally ruled the Pacific Ocean and all other places.
Yeah. He was a big general in the European theater. Correct.
Yeah, correct.
Yes.
So here you are, just a diagrammatic presentation of a man trying to push back something that is collapsing on his head. Literally.
Oh yeah, the whole bunch of punches that are coming towards him and he's holding it back. Yes.
Holding it back. And the thing is, many obstacles are coming. And he's alone. So that's important again. If he has an army to bounce back, then he's not bouncing back. So there's a formidable force working against you. Formidable, like 5 to 1 or 4 to whatever. Formidable force, and there is the gravity force. In this diagram is the gravity that's weighing down on you, and he is pushing it back. That requires guts and any amount of strength of the body, mind, and soul, like that. So that is resilience. Next slide, please. Any comment, Venkatesh?
No, I think all very good, and I think as we will soon see, this ability to come back, the bouncing itself requires you to be able to adapt and be flexible. But we'll talk about that soon. Yeah.
Correct. So here you see an expression.
Right.
The comeback in any game or any walk of life is always greater than the setback.
Correct.
People don't realize that comeback, again, it's said in different words, but it is there. Something is coming back at you.
Correct.
And it is coming with a greater force than you would have otherwise got in a setback. If a setback is 2 units, comeback has to be, say, 5 units or something.
Yeah, correct.
And this happened. Yeah, a comment, Venkatesh?
Yeah, no, very good point. That to overcome, anything, you need to apply greater force than whatever is trying to push you down. And like you said, if it's pushing you down with, let's say, 2x force, you need to push back with 5x force. And that's how you grow, right? That is how you learn to grow. You grow and you adapt and become stronger by your setbacks, because you have to generate higher force than the setback is pushing you with. Otherwise, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Right.
And it's not different from the sorry, you were saying?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, it's sort of like, if you don't lift any weights, you have to lift a weight against, you have to do resistance training, as they say. You have to have resistance to grow your muscles. So similarly, you're not going to grow unless something is pushing you back. Sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, that's many times there are sayings in English which, an idiomatic kind of a saying, where if things come easily or easy to you, then it's pluck low-hanging apples.
Yeah.
So, for example, there is one police officer who believes not entertaining any low-hanging fruits. He would always pluck the tough ones to pluck. And that is training himself. And so that is the greater the setback, etc.
The greater you grow. Yes. Yeah. I think there are two aspects to this which we will soon discuss. You are both growing in strength to push back, and you become flexible. And both are very important to bounce back. Yeah.
Right.
Yes, here it is. Here is the slide.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. The process of sort of a definition, but it's just a statement.
Correct.
The process of adapting well in the face of adversity. Yeah. Sorry, my eyesight requires a little.
Yeah, that font is also funny. Yeah. Adversity.
Significant forces of stress. So it has to be good, and it should be very powerful. It should demand the best out of you to overcome that.
Correct.
So to make a comeback, you are expected to put in your best, very best.
Yeah, and I think very important point is adapting, right? Like, you want to talk about that?
Go ahead.
Yeah, no. I guess it's the bouncing. A glass dropped on the floor will not bounce, but a rubber ball bounces, and it is because the rubber ball can adapt. It can sort of take the impact and reshape itself. So you need to adapt.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Next slide, please.
Yeah.
Now, in this context, there are expressions involving stamina and endurance.
Correct.
When you're fighting back, you are making use of your stamina, power, and endurance, which is again a way of expressing the same thing. But endurance is more in terms of what reservoir you have, stamina.
Correct.
Yeah, you have to draw on your reservoir.
Correct.
Then you can play the game, whether it is you use the expression stamina or endurance.
Correct.
But it is you draw on your reserve power.
Correct.
And that is because for that you should build enough. You
Awesome.
can't be going skin and bone.
Correct.
Skin
you have to build the reserve, is what this whole thing is about. Correct. If there is no reserve, there's nothing to draw on, right? Exactly.
Correct. So,
and the very interesting point is that we build that reserve only by going through such in the past. If you have never
correct.
faced any setbacks, and that's what many times you have discussed, right? Let's say someone never takes a knock till very late in life.
Right.
It becomes very difficult, right? One of your colleagues, for example, I remember. We don't need to
Yeah.
mention the name, but yeah, someone who had had a very smooth sailing till his mid 30s, then the first setback is very difficult.
Yeah. No, this gentleman is and was and is a sort of a well-known name in the financial circles and corporate world.
Correct,
And he spent a lot of time in the UK.
correct,
And in the UK, there is not much to challenge him.
correct.
And he was also sort of the blue-eyed boy of a few selected uh,
Pause. Correct.
yeah. So he lived in a cozy, uh, just a cozy life.
Correct.
He was sitting as head of the reservoir. That's a
Yeah,
reservoir.
head of different businesses, and then yes, when he first faced his setback, he was already in charge of something very large and had had no experience of failure. Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So
No, no.
the
So this
first,
endurance can only be built by going through it. Right.
yeah. It should be tempered in the steel, as they say.
Correct. Correct.
Temper. Steel
Yes.
temper. And that gives it the extra strength.
Correct.
Steel by itself will not give you that strength. But if you have gone through that endurance
Correct.
of this, then you got more power in yourself.
Correct.
You
No, I
can
think
take
you use
on
a
big.
very yeah. Tempering is a very good point. Right. I mean, without that tempering, there is no steel.
Correct. So if
Yes.
you go to a it's workstation or whatever, you will
Right.
see him, heating it up and then cooling it down, heating it up and cooling it down, and that's how much of uh, energy he has injected into that, and
Correct.
that's
Correct.
required.
Correct. Correct.
Steel cannot be tempered just by sitting in the iron. You
Correct.
have to heat it, and then you have to cool it, and then again heat it.
Correct.
It's a
Correct.
it's
Correct.
a process.
As
A process.
mechanical engineers, we used to study this in metallurgy, right? That
Metal.
this whole process of how you change the internal characteristic of iron, it requires exactly this, right? That heating, and then you basically quench it, and then you change the
Yeah,
fundamental structure, the grain of the whole metal. That's how you actually convert it from iron into steel.
right. An
Yes.
extension of an extension of this logic came from Nelson Mandela,
Right.
mhm, the great warrior of the previous century,
Yeah.
and he spent almost his entire life, almost 40 years in the prison in the South Africa.
Correct.
And then when he came out, people thought that he is a spent force.
Correct.
He said, this has been battered so much. He's a spent force.
Correct.
What can he do for us? On the contrary, as Dr. Watson would put it, he came with a real bounce.
Correct.
Mandela was a big figure, big name, big number, whatever. And that all he did after he came out of the jail, spending 40 odd years,
30 odd
almost
years.
40.
Yeah. Correct. 30 years of his life.
Yeah.
Correct.
So that is a great example of resilience.
Correct.
And
Correct.
people thought that they will break his back, you
Correct.
know, but by putting thorns on your way. So
Correct.
nothing.
No, in fact, South Africa, that South Africa didn't collapse. That South Africa didn't break up and completely collapse after the end of apartheid, is because
Right.
Mandela shaped it, and Mandela shaped it the way he did because he had come out of prison. Absolutely.
Correct. In many of these modern day republics, whether it is in
Correct.
Asia or whatever, it is. It's not. There is hardly any bouncing back. You see
Right.
Bangladesh or bouncing was back was not the game.
Correct.
Here, this man took it out, and the South African whites, you
Correct.
know, are ready to tolerate him.
Correct.
He didn't collapse himself and he didn't die of heart attack or something. But
Correct.
this is resilience.
Correct.
All this is single man bearing his steel and then taking you forward.
Correct.
That's really something.
Correct.
So, an ability to recover. Again, everything is now centered on recovery.
Correct.
Hmm? People don't realize that recovery is the thing, but
Correct.
then it is.
Correct.
Ultimately, it is recovery that matters.
Correct.
And You can go home and boast back, I did this, I did that. But
Correct.
then you are down, then you recovered. That is
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing.
No, and I
But
think the sorry, uh, two
go
words here
ahead.
are very important to emphasize. You have to adjust, right? To
Yeah,
recover, you have to adjust. And this is why we
correct.
have been talking so much at different points about it's a separate topic, but resilience can only happen if you are ready to adapt. If you will not adapt,
Right,
you cannot recover.
right. That is where new normals come. When you are recovering from a down, you
Correct.
know, it's a new normal for you to face different people, take on different roles, and
Correct.
that's a new normal.
Correct.
Nobody will come back and say, "Oh, you did this last year, you did that like 20 years ago or something."
Correct.
Uh, but there you are. It's,
Correct.
face the new normal and then take the new normal forward. It is
Correct.
important.
Correct.
Taking, you can be very easily demoralized by the threat of some big emperor or
Or
a
setback.
republic. Yeah,
Correct.
but there you are bouncing back. There is
Correct.
resilience.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
No, it's again the different words. Ability to recover. No, this is a little deeper.
Correct.
Hmm? It's not just recovery by itself. Recover
Right.
strength, determination, spirit, flexibility, and above all, good humor. Many times
Very nice
afterward,
slide. Correct.
when you come back from when you're down, then you are bearing a grudge of so many things. I used to do this, I used to do that,
Correct.
and I am the big man, blah blah blah.
Correct.
And they will say, okay, what about tomorrow?
Correct.
Like a good humor. And you should say it was smilingly.
Correct.
What about tomorrow? You say it smilingly.
Correct.
What about tomorrow? Don't say that. So
Correct.
there's a good humor. I like this slide because of the humor part.
Yeah.
Not
There
too
are
many
many
people
very
talk.
good points here. Yeah. Many very good points. Yeah. That you don't just
Yeah,
come back, but you need to come back with spirit. For example, the spirit point here, right? It's
correct.
not that, yeah, you didn't, you just now come back and then are lying limp. No, you're coming back with spirit.
Spirit, yeah. Flexibility and good humor.
Correct.
And humor is something very difficult. People will say it very, offhand.
Correct.
But humor is the toughest part of it all.
Correct.
You can't get, you can't have humor unless everything is in place and growing.
Correct.
Then you can afford the luxury of humor.
Correct.
But this definition is very interesting from that point of view.
Correct.
So I say we should
Yes.
stare it.
Very good point. Yes, absolutely. And unless if you take yourself too seriously, then you will take your downs also too seriously. Conversely, you
Correct.
are taking our ups also too seriously, which will of course bring us back to nishkama karma and basically being sthita pragya. But you can only have good humor if you don't take yourself too seriously, especially when
Absolutely,
you're down.
absolutely,
Correct.
absolutely. Here is a graph or some line or a curve. Hmm,
Right.
shows the path of most resistance. Now, mind you, path of most resistance is not a typographical error. People normally take the path of least resistance. And in India, you plug low hanging fruits.
Correct.
Hmm. You go to an apple orchard or something, and then there you keep plucking all
Correct.
the low hanging fruits, and then come back and boast how many apples you have plucked.
Correct.
But that's because you are only picking low hanging fruits.
Correct.
This is the example given by one police commissioner or deputy commissioner,
Right.
and he would say, don't pluck low hanging fruits. Even if
Correct.
they're there within reach, don't pluck. That's
Correct.
difficult.
Correct.
Difficult to break this tension.
Correct.
Whatever. So the path of most resistance, you
Correct.
deliberately, willingly choose the toughest path as possible, like climbing Mount Everest, for example.
Correct.
Any journey walks up and down Mount Everest as though it is the backyard of your mansion or something. And today, the number of people who would have climbed Everest would be running into dozens or
Correct.
even maybe. And the
Correct.
Mount Everest, that whatever south face or whatever face, you know, that is the toughest and deliberately to be used,
Yeah. People
What?
are choosing to do that or have chosen to do that because it is the toughest. Correct.
Right. People take the challenge.
Correct.
In fact, so like if you see some of the games,
Correct.
how you're riding a motorcycle with everything against you,
Correct.
etc.
Correct.
So there's a path of most resistance that one goes in,
Correct.
and
Correct.
that builds again your resilience.
Correct. Your
And
reservoir of endurance is being built by
yeah,
this. Correct.
yeah. And here in this diagram, the first turn is down.
Correct.
And then the climb starts. You can't
Correct.
say, hey,
Correct.
give me the up first and then I'll take care of the down. It won't happen like
It
that.
won't happen. Yeah, it's a very nice slide. Very nice slide. Yeah, exactly.
That's why I say
Most,
path of
most
yeah.
resistance. Yes. And you have to keep choosing to take paths of most resistance. And that's why, for that analogy, for example, of even weight training or whatever,
Hmm.
if you don't lift something that is difficult, you cannot build your strength, right? You have to
Correct.
that's why they call it resistance training, right?
Yeah. Correct. Very true.
Yeah.
So when you are doing all this,
Correct.
you have to take care of the value systems that you are
Correct.
in. Many times you say if a low-hanging fruit, you
Correct.
pluck it. And then what is your value system in that?
Correct.
Fruits were lying low. I just plucked one. Big deal. You
Correct.
know. But that is again not building your core
Yeah, the
assets,
strength
whatever.
of your values. Correct. Correct.
Yeah. Core values are based on, similar to that or based on that.
Yeah.
Your core value is to fight it out
Correct.
legitimately.
Correct.
And if you're fighting it out legitimately, your core values are strengthened.
Correct.
And that is strength building exercise.
Correct.
And this has to be kept in mind when you are fighting against whatever odds, all
Correct.
odds.
Correct. Correct.
Next slide,
This
please.
reminds me of that Rishya Shringa story we discussed.
Uh,
That Rishya Shringa is that sage whose father
Rishi,
kept. Yes, correct. That basically, if
go
you
ahead.
don't show him any temptation, he's very
Uh,
virtuous. But you have to have
correct.
experienced temptation and let go of it to actually
Yeah.
build your inner strength, right? And your values.
Correct. Very true.
Otherwise, he
Very
doesn't
true.
know only what it is to resist it and to overcome,
Yeah.
And like you said, the strength of your values lies in your ability to protect it when things are down or when you're faced with
Correct.
that temptation. Correct.
Correct. Absolutely. So there is something called mind game.
Correct.
In today's world or in any world, yesterday's world also, you know, people keep playing mind games.
Correct.
you know. And that's an integral part of any mental exercise or intellectual exercise.
Correct.
And there you bring in a variable, you bring in a minus, you bring in a plus, and then you play with it, like
Correct.
a chess.
Correct.
And chess is a mind game. You
Correct.
know, you have no dumbbells to lift or anything.
Yeah.
You got a piece of paper lying there with squares,
Correct.
and it's tough or not, it is not so tough, whatever. Then that
Correct.
is your mind game.
Correct.
You don't touch anything physically. And mind games are many.
Correct.
Chess is the classic example. And there are many other things. Like if you read Mahabharata, almost every other chapter has a mind game.
Correct.
Somebody has to shoot an arrow,
Correct.
and then he has to play this, play that against the enemy, etc. And
Yeah.
more than the arms and ammunition, it's your mind that is
Mind.
put to use.
Correct. And
And
you have
it is
to
your
you have to win that battle inside your mind, or that battle is as much in your mind as it is anywhere else.
correct. Right. How are we time-wise, Venkatesh?
Yeah. Anyway, this is the penultimate slide. This is the final slide. Not to worry.
Okay. So life is a mind game, as we just now we saw our mind
Correct.
game.
Correct.
So life is not a straight line. Life is not a hunky-dory, whatever.
Correct.
It is a mental game,
Correct.
and that is controlled by all HR executives, for example. There are any number of mind games that are floating around in an HR workshop,
Correct.
and is supposed to pick the best.
Right.
uh, toughest is the best.
Right.
So this gentleman, Joshua Reynolds,
Right.
specialized in mind games.
Right.
And
Or basically mind games has many meanings for people, but what we are talking about is that you build your resilience to deal with all the obstacles in your mind, right? Because only then can you
right,
do stuff outside. Correct.
right. Very true. Next slide, please.
Final slide. Yeah.
For example, when you talked about value systems,
Correct.
it's important to note that whatever we are doing or not doing,
Right.
you should compulsorily very positively, aggressively see to it that your value systems are not disturbed.
Correct.
Mahatma is an example. No matter how he feels today, how others feel about him today,
Correct.
apart from that, but here is a man, was a man,
Right.
who said, no matter what, I'm not going to lift a rifle, I'm not going to shoot an arrow in the fight against the British.
Correct.
The basic tenet was no arm. Now,
Correct.
whatever you want to do, you do.
Correct.
You want to kill me, kill me.
Correct.
But no arms.
Correct.
People found it difficult.
Correct.
They said,
Correct.
oh,
Yeah.
this man is a suicidal masochist or something, they would say. But
Correct. Correct.
and he walked all the way to the Dandi March, and then he picked up a fistful of salt,
Correct.
and then people beat him, and then people beat him. There are
Correct.
in this movie,
Yeah.
the real life of Mahatma Gandhi.
Gandhi. Correct.
Dandi
Correct.
March. He said, "I am going to Dandi." British said, "No, you can't go to Dandi." He
Correct.
said, "No, I'll go. I'll go, and I will not only go, but I will also
Make
do
salt.
something which allow me to do, like picking up a fistful of sand or salt."
Salt. Correct.
So, and then people beat him on his head, and the rest is all Richard Attenborough's history,
Correct.
Indian history, that is.
Yeah. Yeah, correct.
Uh,
The movie. Yeah.
yeah, and that is basically the toughest part of following the value system, which is one word is humor, which is ahimsa.
Yeah.
Ahimsa was the one letter word, or
That
not almost.
he was able to build his strength out of that one value. Correct.
Yeah.
You could
And this,
say he's making life tough. He was taking the path of maximum resistance, you could argue, right?
correct, absolutely.
Correct.
He could have gone and picked up a ton of salt, and then people would have applauded him or something, but
Right.
he
Or
wouldn't do
thrown
it.
a bomb or whatever. Correct. Correct. This was a tough, this was making something which was already tough, almost tougher, but it gave him strength, right? And that's how he was able to stay resilient for 30 years. He was fighting
Yeah,
till finally independence happened. To stay
right,
in
right.
that game for that long is not easy. There are people who have
Yeah,
tried something for a few months is different. He is basically from 1915 after he came back from South Africa till 1947. He's at it.
yeah.
No,
So this is
great.
an example
Correct.
where you can and you should stick to your core values and
Correct.
still fight against other odds.
Correct.
So that's an
That
example
builds your
to.
strength. In fact, it builds your strength. It doesn't reduce it. So
Right,
sticking to your core values with flexibility
yeah.
and with the ability to recover and keep your good humor is what resilience is about. Correct.
Yeah,
So,
and he could have been killed. The very first thing the British, South African government did was,
right.
again, they sent a guy, a policeman,
Correct.
and he would come and hit Gandhi on his head,
Correct.
and then he'd fall, and then he take the next guy,
Correct.
and then they hit him, and then he will fall too. Like that, it goes on.
Correct.
And that's in South
A great
Africa.
example of resilience. Correct. Yeah. That you're
Yeah,
literally showing your resilience, even though it
yeah.
seems like passive, it is not passive because you're literally withstanding the force of what is being thrown at you.
Right. And this was happening to a crowd of devotees for him, so to speak.
Correct. Doctor,
So
I
one
think
of
I'll summarize now
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
just at the end of our time. Yeah. No, so thank you so much, Doctor. Today we looked at resilience and basically we looked at the fact that starting from that resilience is our ability to overcome obstacles. There is no concept of resilience unless there are obstacles, which there are obviously always plenty in life. And you need to build your internal reserves, right? Either your store of stamina or endurance, whatever you want to call it. And the way you do that is by not plucking low hanging fruit, right? It is by actually following the path of resistance periodically and continuously. And it is that process of actually coming out of those lows and bouncing back that builds your strength, right? And, it's not unlike the physical phenomena of resistance training. You go through those processes again and again, and you build your internal reserves so that you can deal with the outside. And to do that,
Right,
you need to have obviously flexibility to adapt. You need to have your strength, You need to keep your sense of humor, for which, obviously you can't take yourself too seriously. But to what Doctor you were saying, all of this can only happen if you have a set of values that you can build all of this around. And those core values, and we just saw Ahimsa as an example, can give you strength even in seemingly impossible circumstances. Yes, Doctor?
Right, absolutely right. So,
thank you so much. Thank you, and look forward to the next one.
Yeah, thank you.